Item 2.1, call to order. I will call the California Military Institute regular board meeting to order at 5:09 p.m. I'm going to ask for a roll call to determine a quorum. Trustee Nelson.
Here.
Trustee Vallejo.
Here.
Trustee Stafford.
Here.
Trustee Campos.
Here.
And Trustee Garcia, myself, here. We have established a quorum. Item 3.1, invitation to address the Board of Trustees on closed session items only. Are there any public comments on closed session items?
No public comments.
All right. Item 4.1, adjourn to closed session. Is there any closed? You do need? No? Okay. All right, let's move along. Item 5.1, the regular board meeting of the California Military Institute. Oh, skip that. 6.1, revision, adoption, ordering of agenda, November 20th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Or second.
Thank you. Any discussion? See none, please vote. Item 6.1 passes 5-0. Item 7.1, report out of, oh, no. 7.2, student representatives to the Board of Trustees. Yes.
All right. From CMI, Student Representative Cadet Major Ariana Abreeze Smith.
Good morning, I'm Cadet Major Ariana Abreeze, the 9th Brigade Commander Advisor, and I'll be going over the events and activities for November. So first, a recap of our events in October, starting off with our trunk or treat. This event took place on October 24th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in our CMI North parking lot. Our CMI Pele team were the main ones who were setting up for this event. We had prizes for Best Costume, Best Senior Trunk, Best Alumni Trunk, and Best Family Trunk. And we had 4 people who signed in with the QR code that night. Our next event was the Link Crew Harvest Festival. This event took place on October 25th from 3:35 to 5 p.m. on the basketball courts. And this was an event hosted by Link Crew, so our juniors and seniors who hosted the event for freshman students. They did a trunk or treat, face painting, tug of war, musical chairs, board games, card games, and they also provided food. Our first event for November was the Veterans Day Parade. This event took place on November 2nd, and we had a marching unit, drill unit, and 2 color guards participate. Our color guards took places, so for the 4-man color guard, we took 2nd place, and for the 11-man color guard, we took 1st place. Our next event was the Thomas the Train event. This was another event that served as a community service opportunity. So there were 2 weekends, November 2nd through the 3rd, and November 9th through the 11th. And here you can see the total number of cadets participated from each day. Our next event was our Pass and Review. So this took place on November 6th, and this was also our change of command ceremony, where I relinquished my command to Cadet First Lieutenant Santiago Frias. And this was also the official day that the new executive officer and command sergeant major stepped into their roles. And our special guest for this event was Assembly Member Dr. Corey Jackson. Our MHD for this month was on November 7th. We had a total of 18 team members and 6 adults, and we completed 7 services that day. Next was our Veterans Day breakfast. This took place on November 14th from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. in our NPR, and each veteran was gifted with a CMI mug as a symbol of our appreciation for them. So our last event so far for November was the Drone Club competition, which was inaugural. This took place on November 16th at 9:30 a.m. in our CMI gym. So the gym was set up with an obstacle course, and the competitors were the people in our drone club and also participants from Rosamond High School. So it was a friendly competition, and this was actually a 2-day event. So on Friday, the teams and advisors went to tour March Air Force Base. Thank you.
Item 7.3, CSEA President Rosa Galvan. Item 7.4, CMITA President Angel Love Barons.
Board members, President Garcia, Superintendent Aru. Our union board members met for the third time this school year with our admin team on Monday. We're finding our pathway forward as a team with common ground, tough discussions, and a little side of humor. Thank you, Dr. Dotson, and your admin team for helping us find smoother paths. I had the opportunity. Miss Candace. I could use my teacher voice. I recently was told by Dr. Dotson that I talk really loud, especially when I'm sitting right next to him. No, he never said that, but he did infer it. So recently I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Aru, accompanied by Mr. Ken Johnson of CTA, who requested a meeting with our new superintendent to build a line of communication in representing CMITA. Unfortunately, the focus and the message of the meeting turned away from the attentions of what we meant. My thoughts, I don't feel, were really heard. I felt a little undermined instead of supported. Hopefully, the next time we meet Dr. Aru, the communications will be more collaborative in nature and we can share some more common ground. As board members, you have the opportunity to support CMITA members by ratifying the newest best version of our CBA that covers the time of July 1, 2024 to June 30th of 2027. For me, this is a milestone. We started in 2012 with negotiations for our first contract that ended up being 12 pages long. So I'm sorry that you have to read more than what we started with. A few key gains that this CBA gives, CMI certificated personnel are clarification and family leave, military leave, industrial accident leave, grievance forms, an increase in a few stipends, and the reduction of our workday. For many years, we have worked 30 minutes longer than any other certificated staff members throughout the district. We look forward to a conversation to agree on an appropriate start date for this change. In addition, we need to find common ground as to when the increase of stipends that were negotiated will be in effect. There has been some communication between myself and Ms. Escobar that inferred the increase in stipends would not be retro to July 1, although the CBA was intended to be in place by that date. Seeing that the process for this CBA was delayed by means beyond our control, it took more than a year to be negotiated since it had been sunshined put to the board last November 1st, ratified by members, and now finally to the board for a vote. It would be viewed as best intentions by allowing our members to be made whole. In many cases, being made whole for work that they're already in the process of doing for the school year. In closing, I would like to thank Mr. Nelson and Ms. Vallejo for your services. Mr. Nelson, this is 12 years. You've seen 3 superintendents, and I think the span that you've been here is as long as we've been fighting for our CBA. So we have come a long way, and I appreciate your support. And Ms. Vallejo, I appreciate your support. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Item 8.1, invitation to address the Board of Trustees on non-agendized items. Are there any public comments on non-agendized items?
Yes, we have one.
Non-agendized items? All right. So usually before I start reading off of the script, I ask everybody to be respectful, courteous. If you hear the timer, or excuse me, 15 seconds before I ask you to wrap it up within those 15 seconds before your time is up. Sometimes, depending on your tone and how you carry yourself, I will be respectful and let you go over up to 10 to dare push 15 seconds over. So I ask you stay in the time, let's be respectful, and if the mic cuts off and you continue, I will ask you to be removed. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes with board consent. The president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. In addition, the president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that the additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. And our first person is?
Sarah Almeida.
I'm a little nervous, so bear with me here. Good evening. My name is Sarah Almeida. I'm a proud parent of 2 students at the California Military Institute. I have been a member of this community since 1989. I know I'm aging myself here. I have seen this community grow and thrive. I am a proud graduate of Paris High School, and I was fortunate enough to participate in several athletic programs at the school, including softball and water polo, to name a few. I was also fortunate enough to not know what it's like to not have the equipment we need to play or practice for each of those sports. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same for our CMI athletes. I come before the board to request additional funds be allotted to both the coaching staff, the facilities, and the equipment of our athletic programs. Some specific examples I'll tell you about is our baseball team. If we have bases loaded, a batter at the plate, and someone on deck, we do not have enough helmets for one of those players. This is both embarrassing and unsafe. I can assure you that none of the other schools in our district have faced this. We are currently in the hiring process, as you know, for a baseball, softball, volleyball, and cheer coach at our school. The rapid turnover rate of our coaching staff is abundantly clear and directly related to the lack of supplies and the insufficient compensation for all of our coaches. To ask a high school football team to have a stipend for half the amount of coaches required to lead a successful team is incomprehensible. Multiple times we have had to stop our sporting events due to embarrassing events, such as gophers popping up, our bases breaking, all kinds of things, right in the middle of the games. As you know, we are a college preparatory school preparing our students for college and careers. We obtain as many scholastic scholarships as possible. However, we are severely deficient in providing our student athletes the opportunity to obtain student athlete scholastic scholarships. We have amazing students who put down the best effort to make their grades and sports. However, we are consistently letting them down. We are not asking for anything unrealistic, just asking for equity amongst the schools. There is not another school in our district who is facing such a disadvantage. CMI is unique in that many of our athletes have never had the opportunity to play organized sports, but they come to CMI and they walk on, try out, and many of them make our teams. We have dedicated staff who put the time in, even when they're not compensated, to ensure that our students are given the best chance. This is not acceptable to continue to take advantage of our community members and our staff members. To wrap up my statement and my request, please consider and hopefully rapidly execute the disbursement of funds to the CMI Athletics Program for coaching, equipment, and to improve our facilities. Please help us achieve equity amongst our schools and for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. And my apologies, I skipped 7.5, principals update.
You didn't hurt my feelings. So good evening, President Garcia, members of the trustees of the Paris Union High School District, Dr. Arauz, and cabinet members. See, that's because you didn't call me when I was supposed to. That's my daughter. She can wait.
It'll be quick. Huh? Maybe she can't.
Maybe she can't wait. Better wait. Hey. So she's special needs, so she calls me like every day right around 5 o'clock. So Okay, I'm here now. I'm embarrassing. Talk about embarrassing moments. There you go. All right. Okay. All right. So, our enrollment went down a couple of students. While our enrollment is still over 1,000, we have lost a couple of students, and I think it's one of the reasons is because I think 2 of them were dismissed due to issues that they had at our campus. So they couldn't get with the program and the military program, so we asked them to leave, and so they left. But our enrollment is still 1,029. I never write this, that we are still the highest in the district as far as attendance. Somebody makes these things for me, so I'm not trying to, my colleagues, I'm not trying to put you guys down, but just come on, just do what you do. Get your attendance up there. You can do it. You can do it. So we are hovering right around 95.39 as far as our attendance, and we still increased over last year's by 0.15. So we're still making progress as far as our attendance. So this is our. So yeah, we had 116 juniors who took the ASVAB in November. We are working on getting 90% to apply to college. 80 seniors are participating in the first Riverside County, California State University direct enrollment pilot program, which is great news for our students. And this week we are promoting kindness and promoting anti-bullying with lunchtime activities. So we have in our counseling center, we have a huge board where students are able to come in and give us their ideas of what they think our school could use to. We don't have a whole bunch of these type of issues, especially not at our school. But we do, just like every other school, I guess we have a few a few bullying issues, but we nip those in the bud as soon as we hear about them. So we're moving in the right direction on that as well. Yeah. These are the activities that our students are anti-bullying activities that our students are doing. Some are outside in the lunch area, and like I said, there's others in the counseling office. This is really good news. This is one of the reasons why as principals that makes our jobs so much. One of the benefits we get from doing our jobs is types of celebrations like this. So last night we had 82 students. We had a great big celebration for 82 students who reclassified to English language proficient. I've been at a lot of different schools in a lot of different districts, and this is the first school that I've ever been at that we've had this great of a number at one time reclassifying in 1 year. So I'm extremely proud not only of our students and their parents, but also of our staff who got them to this point. And so I can't say enough about the work that we're doing and to move our students forward. So I threw this one in. This was at one of the board meetings that I had up in Julian. So I walked into the board meeting, and these two folks were there, and for no reason, no one knew that they were coming. They just showed up, and so I thought that you would love to see this. These are CMI's first cadets ever. And they read a proclamation from George Washington, and so I just thought that would be a little humor to end my brief. So thank you so much.
Item 9.1, consent calendar. Approval of consent calendar items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Item 9.1 passes 5-0. Item 10.1, discipline, October 2024 monthly suspension report. Item 11.1, personnel, certificated personnel action items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? See none, please vote. Item 11.1 passes 5-0. Item 11.2, personnel, classified personnel action items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, see none, please vote. Item 11.2 passes 5-0. Item 11.3, personnel approval of successor tentative agreement between the California Military Institute and the California Military Institute Teachers Association regarding the 2024 and 25 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? See none, please vote. Item 11.3 passes 5-0. Item 11.4, technology resolution number 02-2425, a resolution of the Paris Union High School District on the use of artificial intelligence in education. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? See none, please vote. Item 11.4 passes 5-0. Item 12.1, other items by the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to introduce Denise and Jasmine from RCOE, and they are going to be presenting a recognition to CMI.
Good evening, President Garcia, Superintendent Aro, and members of the board. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to speak to you this evening. I'm Denise Granger, and this is my colleague, Jasmine Fincher, and we're from the Riverside County Office of Education in the School Engagement and Wellness Unit. So our COE, as you know, we like to call ourselves, is deeply committed to ensuring that all students in Riverside County graduate not only academically prepared and equipped for being responsible, engaged citizens in the community. So it's with that commitment in mind that we'd like to recognize the incredible efforts of the California Military Institute in implementing positive behavioral interventions and supports, what you might hear called PBIS. So this year, CMI made tremendous strides in creating their school environment that supports students in becoming academically, socially, and emotionally successful through their implementation of PBIS. PBIS is really a guiding philosophy that reinforces positive behaviors, allowing staff to foster nurturing and inclusive school environments.
And so none of this would be possible without the unwavering commitment of teachers, staff, and administrators who work tirelessly to implement PBIS with passion and fidelity to the national framework. And their efforts to model and practice acknowledging positive behavior is truly remarkable. We also recognize and deeply appreciate the crucial roles that families play in reinforcing these expectations, extending this positive support beyond the school walls. And so we would like to, as a symbol of this commitment, present you with this certificate of recognition. We extend our heartfelt thanks to the school board for your continued support of PBIS and other initiatives that also promote positive behavior for adults
and students to thrive. And we just look forward to the impact that PBIS continues to make. Thank you.
Stand here.
All right, if you can see the camera can see you.
Thank you, everyone. Item 13.1, other items by the Board of, oh, actually, no.
No, that could be it. I just want to add and say congratulations to CMI, to all the teachers, classified educators, administration, our students and our families for this recognition of the implementation of PBIS. Congratulations to all of you.
13.1, other items by the Board of Trustees. Trustee Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to say I got a chance to take a tour of CMI. It had been a little bit since I've been able to do that, but I really had an enjoyable time. Dr. Dodson walked us around, and we got a chance to see. We got a chance to see the esports room, which was very cool. I didn't know how many high-end computers they had with professional computer gaming chairs with the embroidered CMI logo. I was like, where do these come from? But it was very cool to see the space the kids had for that kind of outlet to talk about cybersecurity and coding and everything else. But they also use that for their esports club. It's really cool. Got a chance to just see the kids in action, and they're always really well behaved, and I really enjoy walking that campus. So I appreciate the time. Thank you, Dr. Dodson, and that'll be it. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Vallejo.
I would really like to congratulate CMI staff and admin and everyone there because this award is a big deal. PBIS is a very big deal, and to know that you all continue to put students first actually helps everyone here, and students are having a hard time currently, so it's good that we can entrust in you, and then we always know that you guys always have support for our students all around. I actually wanted to ask the president just a quick question because I'm confused. Is there any chance that you can add comments by the board in the other meeting on top, or should I just say what I need to say here? Just want to make sure.
Say that one more time.
So the comments by the board on the other meeting,
It's not until 19.1.
yeah, could we put it back to where it was?
So we would have to go back to amend it, right?
Would we? Yeah.
So that would be the majority of the board to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to do? You want to keep moving along?
I think she just wants to be able to say a few words while
Yeah.
we're still in the audience.
Yeah, and then if not, yeah.
Well, right now you have the mic.
Yeah, this is for CMI. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's in regards to the regular board meeting, you have to
Mm-hmm.
do that during that time.
I know, but I'm asking you, like, is that something that can be done? Like,
Not
are you
during
guys
this-
willing to say yes?
Not during this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, say what you
Might
said.
as well, yeah. That's true. I mean, I'm so used to being silent, so it actually makes perfect sense. I actually did want to let everyone know that you guys have seen me grown for the past 4 years. I was 24 when I got elected. I beat an incumbent, which was very interesting because I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but to know that I have learned such a great deal and to come back to my community. I graduated from Paris High School in 2014. To me, that sounds like a long time. But I can tell you now, it sounds like a long time, but I guess from the stress of 4 years here, I feel like I aged like 10 years, 10 extra years. But I really want to thank everyone here because you've all seen me grow, and I have all seen you've grown too. I think being part of school boards, it's a very tough job, and it's very controversial. There's this wave of a lot of controversy going on with school boards, which I do not agree with. I do not believe that should be the case. I believe school boards should be focused on students and then staff and to make schools better. But I really want to thank you all for
for tagging along on this ride, and I hope that with the leadership skills that I have gained, you guys can see a new type of leadership that I was trying to implement. For me, my type of leadership is always collaborative working. Since you guys all know me as a politician, I actually hate politicians. I know it's very ironic, but I hate a lot of politicking games. There's so many out there. It's still in here too. And I always try my best to be like, hey, what are we doing first? It's like the kids are always first. And I just want you all to know that I know these next few years are going to be a little bit tough. You know, I think with the new hires that have been going on, there has been a lot of influence by the board who specifically chose these people. And I know someone told me once, someone close told me once, because these people got the job doesn't mean that they're bad people. And that's true. Like, they're probably not bad people, but I do believe in fairness and applying for a job and getting it because you are qualified for. And that's something that I really want to stress out about is that maybe true, these people are probably not bad people, but to me it feels like they have no integrity because you're taking a job that you've either because you're friends with the board. That's what you get. And to me, that is probably one of the hardest battles that I ever had to deal with because there are amazing employees here that should have been promoted from their experience. And I think it's very unsettling to know that you just got to be friends with board to get a job. And that is reality. That is very reality. And I don't want to discourage you all. I just want to let you all know that I don't want you also wasting your time here. You know, like if you feel like you need to go do what is best for you, I do believe this district is great. It's actually very great, but currently with what's been going on, I feel like there's a huge battle between board and cabinet and everyone. And I think people want to be on the same page, but it's a little bit tough to do so. And I just want you all to know that, you know, good things will be coming soon. It might take a few years, but I want you guys to know that I see it too. I don't want you guys to be like, man, like the board is doing this. How dare they? It's so unfair. But it's like, no, I see it. It's just, unfortunately, there's nothing that I can do about it because it's always a 4-1 vote. And that's something that I really want you all to know too. When there's always a 4-1 vote, I don't know what the perception it gives. My perception is more like I know for a fact from all the research that I did, this would not be best for the students. And there it clearly shows that there's some miscommunication there. And one thing that I will let you guys all know is being on a board with 4 men that are twice my age and have a completely different generational view than I do, it can get very tough because we're not always on the same page. And that includes the sexism that I've received here, the mansplaining, not the opportunity to become board president, which I should have gone the right to. So it's just a long list of all these things that I was treated so unfairly on. And I really want to thank specifically all the women here. You guys handle so much from a lot of some men that have a power trip. And man, women, like I commend you so much because it's so hard to be in this field. And you are all flawless women. You are all amazing. And keep on putting the fight out there because I know how it looks like being the only woman here. I don't know if you guys feel bad. I hope you guys feel bad because it's actually terrible up here. But I do want to let you guys know that you guys can handle what I have endured too, or you guys probably already have. But I want to let everybody know that it wasn't easy for me being the 4-1 vote. It's actually really scary when I'm here. I'm like, man, these people that are twice my age, they are voting on a specific thing, and I'm voting for what the facts are presented to me. So I really want you guys to know that, you know, I'm also scared. I try not to look like it, but you guys can also be the powerhouse in here too because you guys deserve to be the powerhouse in your specific area. And I do want to let my board know that from all the mistreatment that I have received, I do forgive you. I do forgive you because I believe that there's so much hate out there in the world, and I don't want to continue adding that hate on there. I don't know if maybe you guys needed to learn better or have this experience, but I hope with the next person that comes on here that you would treat them with respect, because I have been treated with a lot of hardships and they still continue. And I don't appreciate or agree with your work ethics. I feel like your work ethics are very toxic and very bad. But I believe that everything happens for a reason, and because you see me here struggling, that you guys can also see, like, man, like, there's some things that are not going on well here. But I hope you guys know that I'm still strong, I'm still standing. I'm not leaving anywhere. I did get onto the council that I'm very excited about. But I do want to continue creating a partnership with the whole district, because the district deserves more resources, and the city provides so many resources that we can add together. And I just want to let my board know too that a couple of the board members here have mentioned that the information that we are presented, we sometimes get one side, you know, and a couple of board members have been upset that, like, oh, we shouldn't have listened to this person because then it ended up like this. And me, just want to let you guys know, like, I always listen to cabinet. That's the first thing you should be listening to. But I always get my information from other sources, from teachers, from staff. And that's something that you all should be doing too. You can't just focus your belief on one person. Like, you need to do your research there, because that's how I make effective decisions. I listen to cabinet, which is great. I listen to everything that they need to give me. But I also talk to staff members, higher ups, management, from teachers to paras, to know what's really going on, because there could be some miscommunication there. And that's what I would advise my board to do, because we're always hearing one side, unfortunately. And I always want to let you all know that this is just the beginning. I know there will be some really hard hardships here, but I really want to let you all know that you guys can actually make change with any job position that you are in. You guys can really make change. And I hear your struggles and I hear your complaints, but I really all want you to know that I see you, and I think the most effective way to do this is to have good leadership. And one thing that I will say is I really appreciate Dr. Rao. I was actually the only person who did not vote for him for superintendent, but he did manage to prove me wrong, and you guys are actually on a good track. I can tell you that Dr. Rao is very fair. There's a lot of things that our beliefs align in, and I hope you continue to do that as well, because I know the most difficult part is who is your leader? Who are you following? And I will say, from the times that I work with Dr. Rowe, you guys are actually in good hands. And I want you guys to believe it, because as long as you have someone in your corner, I think that is the most important thing. And I really want you all to know that I think, you know, it's time to start maneuvering the leadership. I hear a lot of stories, a lot of toxic stories from many different people, but I think as long as we're more compassionate and more kind with each other, I think we can really move forward. And I know I'll be gone after tonight, but I do want to let you guys know that something from this whole speech could kind of maybe changed your mind a little bit, or just made you have a little bit more of a belief, because these 4 years, I have learned so much from all of you guys. You guys have great skills. And I really want to just show you guys how leadership can actually be done right, but you have to care for others. And I know some people have very difficult personalities, because I have 4 very difficult personalities right here. But I believe that if we all show kindness, I think that's how we can really get going. And I've been from the board for 4 years being mistreated the past 2 years very badly. I chose to forgive them, because that's where it starts. You know, forgiveness is key, and we don't want to add more toxicity to the district that it already has been. So I hope you all can all leave with like a little nugget to be like, hey, I should start creating my own movement, creating my own leadership for the better, because you guys are one group and you guys all need each other. And boards, school boards across the nation will be becoming more controversial with more controversial decisions. And I really emphasize if you guys just all stick together, that is going to be the best way for you all to be safe. And that's what I really want to let you guys know, because this board has friends on cabinet and they're making deals on the side. And I need you guys to be careful. Like, the number one thing I want you to be is just be careful, keep your distance. Some of these board members are like, if they don't like you, they will try to find a way to kick you out. And unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen. So I want you guys to please just keep your distance, be respectful, because you guys are really much stronger together. So I really want you guys to just be a family here, because it's gonna be you guys against us or them. But I just really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for really listening. But I'm just very happy to be a part of a change that we made, and to know that a little Latina girl graduated from Paris High and then are making these really big decisions on behalf of students is a dream come true. So I really appreciate you all for listening, and feel free to talk to me after if you want. Thank you.
Trustee Stafford.
To CMI, I just want to congratulate you on the EL reclassification numbers. Those are really good. Glad to see that. Also, the PBIS award that you just got, that's another positive thing. And of course, your attendance is always great. I like to be positive, and I listen, and I just observe, and I think that we work in a great place, and we've got a great school district. And we have learned to treat each other the way we should be, with kindness, and especially with the holidays coming up, as I always remind everybody, look out for each other. And if any of the schools, I just don't know, are doing a food drive, okay. I've got some, I got to split it up a few ways. Okay, I've got some donations for you. Okay, pretty much all the sites. So well, you're all different places. I'll contact you during this week and bring over some stuff. I'd like to donate, okay? Okay, thank you very much.
Trustee Campos.
Gosh, I'm sorry. My eyesight's getting so bad, I forget which ones are my up close and my distance, and then when I don't need them. Number one, the presentation for CMI, great job. Angel, I'm glad to hear that happened, because I think one of the first times we met, we had that discussion about the CBA, and I'm glad to see that it's moving forward and picking up some legs and getting some steam on that. So that's good. I think that's a win, both for the district, the staff. It's a good thing. Hopefully it'll, come out to the point where, everybody's happy and pleased with what the final product is. To the parent, I don't know if there she is. To the parent who's still here, thank you for your comment. I know it's difficult. I just want you to know that CMI is on the minds and the hearts of several of us board members, and I think there's a bigger picture and plan for CMI, and obviously this is there's future and short term. This is obviously a short term need that we'll figure out how to work around or get you the equipment that you have. Now, one of the things I do know, when I coached baseball, a lot of times, we should probably have at least 6 helmets, but I know a lot of times when I was coaching, a lot of the kids didn't like to share helmets, so they just bought their own, and so we rarely carried a bag with a team set because almost everybody had them. But I know that's a completely different scenario and situation. So, hopefully we can get that, because first of all, it's a safety issue. You know what I mean? Everybody who's going to be anywhere near a ball on the field, even the coaches, should have protective gear. So, we'll definitely look into that. We're well aware of some of the potholes and all that stuff we've heard. And hopefully we'll address that as soon as possible. I can't make any promises, but at the same time, just know that you've been heard, and we'll move forward. Hopefully your child is there, and we'll have a couple more years to be able to see the fruits of that labor down the road. Also, and Dr. Dobson's great news about the RFEPs. Well, and one of the things I always caution on the RFEP process, I think it's great when students RFEP, but I also, there's always kind of a little counter to that, where a lot of times the monitoring drops. I'm not saying it happens here, but it happens because as they're reclassified, they go from RFEP. I don't know if these were going from RFEP to IFEP or they were being RFEP. And so, my caution always is make sure that you monitor these students because a lot of times, once they get RFEP, people stop watching a lot of the services that they used and were able to use to be successful. And so that they no longer kind of gauge that. But as long as someone's overseeing that, making sure that those 82 students are kind of getting the whatever services that they need to continue on with their fluency, then that's excellent because, ultimately we want IFEPs. And that just means that they're fluent, they understand. Actually, they're bilingual because they had a previous language and now they're educated in that as well. So, hopefully that process is going, but just always be aware of that situation and monitor those students because it's very important that we keep track of them. Those kids are on the path of success and we need to make sure that they continue on for the remainder of their career while they're at least under our leadership. And that way, when they leave, they're prepared for that. And then the last one is congratulations on the PBIS award. So that's always awesome. It's always good to be recognized for something that you've done positively and you're doing well, especially from the county. So with that, I'll kind of just piggyback on Tony. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. I know at times we all have different issues going on. Nobody's life is easy. But I can say if we're breathing and we're here, that's a blessing and we should be thankful for that. So make sure that you celebrate, however you celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday, just make sure that you enjoy it and count your blessings. So thank you.
Thank you. And myself, I'll keep it a little shorter. Pretty much everybody touched bases on what I want to talk about. Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication and your loyalty to the district. We appreciate each and every one of you. I think it's important, like Mr. Stafford was saying, the holidays are around and mental illness is real. And this is the time to be there and be supportive of your family members and friends. If you know someone in need, help out. If you need resources, you can feel free and reach out to us. We don't mind going above and beyond, meeting up with you, donations. There's a lot going on. We have a lot of access to a lot of resources. So however we can be of help, that's what we're here for. And again, thank you all, and I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Item 14.1, adjournment. Regular meeting
moved.
of the California Military Institute for November 20th, 2024. Go ahead. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? See none, please vote. There we go. Item 14.1 passes 5-0. This meeting is adjourned at 5:57 PM.